So for this, I'm actually going to be using a brush to apply the embossing glue. And the reason, I did it before where I just rolled the actual glass through the pad, which you can do, and it worked out great. It actually worked out really well, but it gets the glue on the other pieces of the glass that you don't want it, so then you have to clean it up and it just takes a little bit longer. So for this, I'm just going to show you with the brush. Get it good and coated into the glue. And then just make sure I'm getting it very well all around my design. Make sure that you're getting it right up against the oval so that you get that clean line. And all throughout the lettering, you want to make sure that you're getting inside the O, on the outside of it. Just a good coat. And I do continue to dip the brush just to make sure that the glue is on there thick enough so that the embossing powder will stick very well. We were a little worried when we started that because the glass is kind of transparent that the embossing powder wouldn't stand out as well, but it turned out great. This was definitely an experiment for us, and we were just thrilled when we saw the outcome. Okay, now that I have my glue on, we are going to put our embossing tinsel on. And again, you can do that on the mat. Same as before, just pour it all over. For this, I kind of started just putting it on one end and then trying to swish it, but it doesn't work as well. So I just go ahead and cover the whole entire oval with the powder. And then knock the excess off. Excess. There I go again. This is the tricky part. And this is where I get so nervous. I'm so worried for some reason every time that it is not going to turn out, but it has for me so far every time. You are going to have to peel off the vinyl because, like I said before, the vinyl was just a template. And for this, you do end up having to use this tool. This is when this really comes in handy. If you don't have one of these, you might have to use like a sewing needle or something to get the letters off because they are so little. As you can see, it gives the perfect shape. I will touch up that little area in a little bit. Now I have to go in and get the letters. It is a little hard to see the letters with the glitter over them, so if you just kind of hold it up in the light and find where you need to pull from. Just use this tool to kind of pull up the top of your letter. And then once you have it up a little bit, it's nice to go ahead and set it down so that you're not gonna accidentally pull into anything. Hands are a little shaky today. Oh. Now I have my L. And again, if you accidentally bump, then you can go back and fix that later. And I will say, this is something you might be thinking to yourself, oh, just go ahead and dry it with my dryer and then pull the letters off. But that does not work at all. We tried that and made that mistake. It actually melts the embossing powder to the vinyl, and it makes it almost impossible to get the vinyl off. So you do have to be careful and go ahead and pull it off while it is still wet. Now that I have all of my letters peeled off, you can see love perfectly. And the next step would be to use the heating tool to go over the glass and give it the effect that the embossing powder is supposed to give, where it melts together and it actually makes it more of a solid look, so the love stands out even more once you've melted it. And I will say that the heating gun gets very hot, and so does the glass. So when you are using the heating gun on the glass, you want to have it on the table and not holding it in your hand, because it does get really hot. And I did try to do it in moderation, to where I would do it for a couple minutes and then stop and then come back, because I didn't want the glass to get too hot. I was a little nervous it might explode or something, but it never did. And on one, I actually had the heat gun on it for about a good 3 to 4 minutes, and it was fine. So just to kind of give you a heads up on that. I won't do that for you because our heating gun is pretty loud, but this is the finishing effect that it will give. Like I said, it almost melts the glitter together and makes it a solid piece. You can compare the two here and see the difference that it gives. I think you could actually leave it this way if you wanted to, but this will just guarantee a longer lifespan, actually, because the glitter over time will just keep falling off over the years. So now that we have all of our pieces done, you'll just continue and do the exact same process, just different words. I would, let's see, like to just show you another one that we have done over here to just show the versatility that this can have. This is something that you might be able to use year round. It doesn't necessarily have to be for a holiday. It has more of a homey feel. I like to think it looks a little Moroccan. Our designer did it and it came out great. Mel, she does a great job with this stuff, and she has used blacks and golds on this one and used more of the yellow tone ink for this, and then actually used vinyl all the way around. And she said that that was a little tedious for her, but once she got it on there, it came out great, and we just love that. So you really can make this your own. And again, I would love to see any of your finished projects if you take this and just make it totally different. So send us your pictures at customcrops.com.